Hi, I want to welcome you all tonight to our back to school night. I know it's virtual and everything's a little bit different. My name is Mrs. Wickens and I'm the new middle school math teacher. Hopefully this is not the first video that you've seen with me. My background includes 27 years of teaching experience. I've taught 7th grade math at Bremen for 16 years. During my time there, I coached technology teams and robotics teams. I also sponsored coding club, recycling club, cheerleading, and pom-poms over the course of my career of teaching. My husband and I have 3 children. 2 of them are married and 1 is still at home. Our married children, our daughter and son-in-law live in Indianapolis, and our son and daughter-in-law live in Sasebo, Japan. Hopefully you've seen your child's textbook, and one of these books look familiar to you. For 6th grade, we have the 6th grade middle school math book. For 7th grade, it's an accelerated 7th grade book. It's actually more of a pre-algebra book. And for 8th grade, we use Algebra 1. You probably have already seen the video about flipped classroom, but if you haven't, you definitely want to ask your child about that video because our math class is a flipped classroom. And I go into quite a bit of detail about what a flipped classroom is in that video. Long story short, they'll watch instructional videos at home, follow along in their math book. They'll write some notes in the math book. For you or I, it is more like some examples. And then in class, we'll go over some more concepts. And then they'll spend most of the class time working on problems while they have my help to be able to do the work. I also had a video that I called All About Me, and it just talks about my life and tells you a whole lot more about me. So again, if you haven't watched those videos, ask your child about them. They're on their Google Classroom. So in 6th grade, you can read all of the different topics that we hit, but we do a lot. We do cover computation with integers, so positive and negative numbers. We get into rational numbers, multiples and factors. We're going to deal with fractions and decimals this year. We hit geometry and we hit some data. And we also do some algebra concepts and some graphing. In 7th grade with the pre-algebra, again, we're hitting all of those Indiana academic standards for 7th grade, but then we also get into some of the 8th grade standards because in 8th grade, your child will be taking algebra. And so again, you can read all of the different concepts that we're going to be covering this year in content for the 7th grade math. For 8th grade, we are using algebra, the Algebra 1 book through the same company. We have transitioned over into we will no longer be using the computer textbook videos. I will be creating all of those the video content for your children to use, and we'll be starting that with the next lesson that they have to watch videos for. So again, you can look over all of the concepts that we're covering in algebra. So for our grades, one thing I want to point out, especially for 6th and 7th grade with the personal math trainer, your child just probably talked about it with you. I had a lot of students that were concerned that if they didn't do well on it, it was going to affect their grade. Those personal math trainer little questions are not part of their grade at all. That's more of a formative assessment for me so that I know, number 1, did they watch the video? Number 2, what did they pick up from the video? And what concepts do I really need to hit hard when they come into class? If they all understand a concept by the short video that they've watched and done some problems for, we don't need to spend a ton of time doing any reteaching or going over that. We can just dive right into the problems. So those are more of a formative assessment for me. If they have glitches or problems, a simple message to me, hey, number 15 didn't work, or take a screenshot of a problem the children are having difficulties with, send that to me, and that way I have that kind of feedback and know where they're struggling with that. But their grades will be broken down into 3 categories. There's classwork or homework that will be 20% of their grade. All quizzes are 30% of their grade. All 3 grade levels will be taking a quiz, or they will have taken a quiz this week. And tests and projects are 50% of their grade. I will tell you, I've told the children this, when it comes to their classwork and their quizzes and even the tests or projects, if there is a homework assignment that they don't do as well as they'd hope to on it, that I will always have some alternative assignment they can do to replace that grade. And so it's not, I don't really give extra credit, but I give them a chance to show me in another format, in another form, that they know and understand the concepts. And that's really ultimately what I'm looking for. I'm looking for them to master those concepts. And if it takes them a little bit extra practice to do that, I want to provide that. If they bomb a quiz or a test, we can definitely talk about a potential for retaking those quizzes and tests also. As far as late assignments are concerned, it's a standard policy with the middle school that any assignment, for it to be for us to accept it, has to be turned within a week of when it is due. If it is late, it will be docked 10%. If an assignment is turned in after a week being late, it will still receive a 0. Again, this is a standard policy that all the middle school teachers are following. If your child needs extra help, I'm available. There is some time at the beginning of the day when the students first arrive, and at the end of the day, I do have to be with my homeroom students, and obviously that would be a great time for any of them to get any extra help. Also, I encourage students that if they're struggling with anything or have questions or issues, just private message me or message me through Google Classroom or email me, being sure to tag their parent in those emails also. If you have any questions, either about this presentation or any time throughout the year, please email me. That's probably the easiest and best way to get a hold of me. One thing I do want to say is if you're an e-learner and you email me during the day, or even a parent that emails me during the day, I don't always have time during the day because of our class schedule and all of the extra things we're doing with the e-learners during our plan periods. It may be the end of the day or even the evening before I can get back with you. So just please email me if you have any questions or concerns throughout the school year. I'm here to help your child learn new concepts in math and hopefully learn to like math more than they currently do. I know there's a lot of kids by middle school that absolutely hate math, and I'm hoping that I can change that so that they like math a little bit more this year. So thanks for tuning in. And again, if you have questions, just email me.